Welcome back to The New Life, A Better Way to Health, Part 10. This seminar is not meant to replace medical advice. It is not intended to provide personalized medical advice in any way. The material presented in this seminar is for general educational and informational purposes only. We are down to our final principle, Week 10, covering the principle Educate Yourself. It is our sincere hope that you have personally gone from sickness to health in all that it encompasses and have made these 10 principles 10 habits for life. Tonight will be a simple presentation on the aspect of educating yourself that we hope you will always remember. First, let's look at the principle of educate yourself on the surface level. To have a healthy brain, we simply need to keep the brain active with learning and the body physically fit with exercise. The two go hand in hand. There is a childlike wonder and curiosity that thirsts for new pathways that lead to amazing discoveries. Our minds are hardwired to seek this, and it was perfectly manifested when we were children. But as we grow older, we often lose it. What if we could, from this week going forward, begin to re-educate our minds to seek new pathways to total health, mind, body, and soul? But where do we begin?
What if you could rewire your brain to be more awesome simply by reading a book?
Well, now you can. Kung Fu. Hey there, fellow bookworms. Trace here for D-News.
And Dr. North popping over from my show In the Making. You know that feeling when you read a book and you feel like you are a protagonist? Well, new research shows you might be altering your brain connectivity and living the life you're reading about.
Scientists have been able to measure the short-term effects of reading on neuronal activity in various parts of the brain using an fMRI.
Your brain is full of neurons transmitting signals to each other. In order to support this neuronal activity, the body needs to supply more blood to these areas of the brain. The blood delivers oxygen, so on its way to the neurons, the blood is oxygen-rich. When it returns, oxygen poor. The change in oxygen causes a change in the magnetism of the blood. So using fMRI, or functional magnetic resonance imaging, scientists can detect this change in magnetism, oxygen level, and corresponding neuronal activity. Or in other words, we can see where the brain activity is occurring.
Thanks, Dr. North. Guy, smart and stuff. Using this technique, researchers at Emory University did a study where the subjects read the novel Pompeii in a little over a week. The book is a page-turning thriller by Robert Harris based on the real-life eruption of Mount Vesuvius in ancient Italy. At least, that's what the researchers said. I haven't read it. Have you read it?
No,
But
there's a movie.
Oh, good. They said they also picked it because it has a strong narrative arc and a clear lead character.
After establishing a baseline for 5 days, for the next 9 days, the subject would read 30 pages of the book each evening. The following morning, after taking a quiz to make sure they did their homework, researchers performed an fMRI to measure activity in the specific portions of the brain. They found a continuous increase in arousal with some of the most exciting chapters, with the highest being the actual eruption of Mount Vesuvius.
Whoa! Spoiler alert, Mike. Come on.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's Pompeii. Anyway, the results also showed heightened connectivity in the left temporal cortex, which is correlated with heightened receptivity for language, which they call shadow activity, which sounds kind of fancy. It's sort of like the muscle memory of the mind, which is cool because even though they weren't reading the book at the time of the fMRI, there was leftover effect from the previous night of reading.
And even cooler is they saw increased activity in the sensory motor regions, or as the author of the paper puts it, that reading a novel can transport you into the body of the protagonist. More specifically, they saw long-term changes in the bilateral somatosensory cortex, suggesting a potential mechanism for embodied somatics. In other words, thinking about jumping can cause the same neural activity as actually jumping. It's almost like their brains were living the actions of the lead character.
But Mike, does this mean that if I read about someone doing something like shooting arrows or doing kung fu, then would I be better prepared to do it in real life just by reading it?
Possibly.
So in the movie The Matrix, when Neo goes into that simulated training system, he was really just stimulating his mind, I guess. His mind could have been preparing his body as well. That's pretty cool. What do you guys think of this new research? Are you going to read more books after this? Tell us down below in the comments, and be sure you subscribe for more D News. And as long as you're in a subscribing mood, Mike?
You can check out my show, In the Making, where I take you behind the scenes of some of the most amazing scientific breakthroughs. Click the link on your screen to subscribe. We've got new episodes every Thursday.
Thanks for stopping by, Mike.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Do you remember what causes sickness and disease? Sickness and disease are an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. In our session on exercise, we learned how physical activity is important for our mental well-being. They are very connected. Violation of this principle causes health problems. It's also important to be mentally active. Research shows that when we learn new things, we create new pathways in our brains. It is recommended that we learn at least one new bit of information each day. After all, it is the brain that controls the whole body. If the brain is sluggish, then the body will soon follow and disease will occur. For instance, to have a healthy brain and avoid neurological diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's, we need to keep our minds sharp. We do this by keeping the brain active. Let's explore some key activities that we can do to keep educating ourselves. Scientists at the Florey Neuroscience Institutes have discovered an unexpected benefit from cognitive stimulation and physical activity. It can correct dysfunction in the adrenal gland and associated stress responses. The findings, reported in Nature Publishing Group's Translational Psychiatry, could have wide-ranging implications for our understanding of stress responses and depression. As we established earlier, brain activity and physical activity go together. Hopefully, we have made exercise a habit from Session 5. Keeping our brains stimulated with new, wholesome, thought-provoking information while keeping the body moving lowers stress levels and corrects adrenal fatigue, yet another issue brought on by stress. Point number 1. Learning doesn't have to lead to a qualification, such as a degree or certification, to benefit you. Learning is its own reward and is a vital part of living the new life. Point number 2. Occupying the mind with trivial subjects and neglecting to stretch ourselves mentally and intellectually gradually results in the brain's losing its ability to expand. Point number 3. A study done in the UK showed that adult learning had a positive impact on many aspects of physical, mental, and emotional health. Point number 4. The majority of age-related losses in memory or motor skills simply result from inactivity and a lack of mental exercise and stimulation. Television is a major culprit here. Anyone here starting to lose your memory or your motor skills? It could be due to lack of activity. Isn't that amazing? What does or doesn't happen with your brain affects your body, and what does or doesn't happen with your body affects your brain. Point number 5. The key to lifelong learning is A. Low-interest student loans, B. Easy access to high-speed internet, C. Curiosity about the world within and without, or D. A personal guru. Point number 6. The more you learn about your body and how it functions, anatomy and physiology, the better equipped and motivated you will be to maintain good health habits. Over the past 10 weeks, we have learned about nutrition and the body, sunlight and the body, water and the body, etc. We are confident now that you know the functions of your bodies relative to the principles of health. You are equipped, motivated, and empowered to take better care of your own health. Point number 7. Bibliotherapy is a fancy term for good old-fashioned reading, which stimulates frontal lobe activity, causes relaxation, and reduces stress. How many of you know that when you relax and read a book that you are in therapy? Bibliotherapy. Reading stimulates the frontal lobe, which is the area of the brain we looked at quite a bit during the Week 7 principle, Live Temperately. Because it is at the seat of reason and judgment, we want to protect the frontal lobe from bad foods and negative stimuli, while at the same time keeping it stimulated with good thoughts and mental activities like reading. Participants in a research study led by Dr. David Lewis at the University of Sussex were able to reduce their stress levels by 68%, slow their heart rate, and reduce muscle tension by simply reading silently to themselves for 6 minutes. Not only that, their stress levels were lower than before they started stress tests and exercises.
Let me guess, your daily reading habits are tweets, Facebook feeds, and the directions on your instant oatmeal packet. When was the last time you read a book or a substantial magazine article? If you're one of countless people who don't make a habit of reading regularly, you are missing out. Reading has a significant number of benefits. Mental stimulation. Studies have shown that staying mentally stimulated can slow the progress of, or possibly even prevent, Alzheimer's and dementia, since keeping your brain active and engaged prevents it from losing power. Just like any other muscle in the body, the brain requires exercise to keep it strong and healthy. Stress reduction. No matter how much stress you have at work, in your personal relationships, or countless other issues faced in daily life, it all just slips away when you lose yourself in a great story. A well-written novel can transport you to other realms, while an engaging article will distract you and keep you in the present moment, letting tensions drain away and allowing you to relax. Knowledge. Everything you read fills your head with new bits of information, and you never know when it might come in handy. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to tackle any challenge you'll ever face. Additionally, here's a bit of food for thought. Should you ever find yourself in dire circumstances, remember that although you might lose everything else, your job, your possessions, your money, even your health, knowledge can never be taken from you. Memory improvement. When you read a book, you have to remember an assortment of characters, their backgrounds, ambitions, history, and nuances, as well as the various arcs and subplots that weave their way through every story. That's a fair bit to remember, but brains are marvelous things and can remember these things with relative ease. Stronger analytical thinking skills. Have you ever read an amazing mystery novel and solved the mystery yourself before finishing the book? If so, you were able to put critical and analytical thinking to work by taking note of all the details provided and sorting them out to determine who done it. That same ability to analyze details also comes in handy when it comes to critiquing the plot, determining whether it was a well-written piece, if the characters were properly developed, if the storyline ran smoothly, etc. Improved focus and concentration. When you read a book, all of your attention is focused on the story. The rest of the world just falls away, and you can immerse yourself in every fine detail you're absorbing. Try reading for 15 to 20 minutes before work, and you'll be surprised at how much more focused you are once you get to the office. Tranquility. In addition to the relaxation that accompanies reading a good book, it's possible that the subject you read about can bring about immense inner peace and tranquility. Reading spiritual texts can lower blood pressure and bring about an immense sense of calm, while reading self-help books has been shown to help people suffering from certain mood disorders and mild mental illnesses.
Point number 8. Using your hands creatively and to learn new skills stimulates the posterior area of the frontal lobe and is imperative for full cognitive and intellectual development. Notice that there is a connection between the physical action of how we use our hands and developing new skills correlates with the stimulation of the posterior area of the frontal lobe. The entire human body was designed for thinking, action. Point number 9. Sharing what you learn is the best way to retain information, for he who teaches learns twice. We encourage you to invest time in others by sharing the health information you have learned and are learning. It will be good for your own health, plus you reinforce the info and learn twice. Point number 10. The greatest thing we can ever learn to do is educate ourselves to have an attitude of gratitude for what we have and especially the beauty of creation that is open to our study and observation. As the opening video showed, there is something even greater than learning all the information in the world, and there is a direct health benefit as well. It is being grateful. This is the greatest benefit to our health. Being thankful that we have the capacity to learn, to see, and to hear the natural beauty of creation and experience it with a healthy mind, body, and soul. But we have to educate ourselves to enjoy it. 10 scientific benefits of gratitude. 1. Teenagers that express gratitude for their lives are happier. 2. Counting your blessings on a daily basis are linked with a brighter and more positive outlook on life. 3. High schoolers who express gratitude have higher GPAs, better social interaction, and more satisfaction with life, have less depression and envy. 4. Gratitude leads to pro-social behaviors like going out of your way to help others and lending emotional support. 5. Writing down what you are grateful for before sleep leads to more refreshing rest. 6. Gratitude in a relationship will make it stronger. 7. Learning to be grateful will improve heart health. 8. Gratitude in a team environment which leads to higher overall contentment and satisfaction with life. 9. Learning to express gratitude leads to a more optimistic outlook on life, leading to a healthier immune system. And point number 10, gratitude lowers cortisol levels. References for the 10 points on the benefits of gratitude are available upon request. Finally, commit to educating yourself daily to have an attitude of gratitude and keep learning. Watch how you'll become more and more healthy day by day as you express your gratitude for the many blessings you have. I'll start it off. On behalf of Health Returns, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of your lives and a part of your journey to health. Enjoy our final video.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather, and even of the weather we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, has unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. All the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. And drinkable water, it's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
Thank you for attending this week's session on how to educate yourself. And always remember, your health is your choice.